I've heard that the two happiest days in a boat owner's life are the day he buys his boat and the day he sells it. And actually, that sort of thinking applies to a lot of other things. And, if they sell enough boats, Waterworld will be afloat in no time. Welcome to Breakfast Time with Tom Bergeron, Lori Hibbert, and Bob the Puppet. My name's Jim, and I'm the announcer. Here's Lori, Tom, and Bob.
Hey.
Thank you, Jim.
Good morning.
The Waterworld saga, of course, as you probably all know by now, the director left.
Kevin Reynolds.
He delivered his cut, and then he, as they say in the trades, ankled the project.
Well, what happened was they got into the editing room. He delivered his cut, and then apparently Costner was all over him about it. Now, these two are, one, very good friends, and two, have worked together before in Robin Hood, Prince of Tides, and they had trouble back then as well. Prince of
Thieves.
What did I say?
Tide, Prince of Tides.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a weird movie that Robin
Lowenstein, riding through the woods. Lowenstein. She's a shrink by day, robs the rich at night. Lowenstein. Sorry.
See what you started?
Sorry.
Explains the merry men, though.
Yeah.
Life in the village.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Back to Waterworld. So they worked together on this project, and it's been an albatross since the beginning with its $50 million budget, or no, it's $100 million.
180 million now. 180 million.
Better be good.
And the action figures, we were talking about this before the show yesterday. You got the Kevin Costner action figure, you have the divorce attorney action figure, and you have the accountant action figure.
And don't forget the hula girl.
Yeah, and the hula girl.
And a sex therapist there also.
Gosh, I love these little sort of improv segments.
That wasn't even on the list of things to talk about.
We've got a heck of a show for you today. We've got, among our guests, Richard Simmons, which may explain our heightened energy level.
Sure. We've been talking so much about fitness, and really today's focus, because Richard Simmons is going to be here. And I came across this picture of Tom that was taken a year and 3 days ago.
Right.
Now, we're always talking about how much weight Tom has lost. And everyone, it's been so gradual, and you really did it the right way. You started to exercise and you ate properly. You didn't go on a crash diet or anything like that. But let's just all take a look at Tom a year ago this week.
That old chipmunk cheek.
Closer, yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Looks like Regis.
Looks like Ted Kennedy.
Look at those. Look at those jowls.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Nice picture.
I am not a crook. I'm a talk show. I am not a crook.
I find that, so you can have that.
Yeah,
I find that fascinating.
We're looking at about 22 to 24 less pounds of me now. And you're right, as Patricia and Spencer have been good influences on me because they talked about the importance of the exercise so that instead of drinking those sort of drinks that, you don't really retrain yourself about food and you don't get the benefits of exercise. Incorporating those two elements, and plus my natural stubbornness. And I feel wonderful. I feel the best I have in quite some time.
Yeah, so Richard Simmons, he's your success story. You can show him that picture.
That's right. I'll cry for him.
He'll hug you. You better be careful.
I'll just straighten up.
Estai Morales also joins us from the movie My Family, Mi Familia, which I saw yesterday. It's a terrific
and he was in La Bamba and Bad Boy.
And Bad Boy with Sean Penn. Great movie. Great movie.
Yeah. Sean Penn filed his teeth for that movie because he actually filed his own teeth to make them look a little rougher.
The thing I file is income tax, and sometimes less. And also, this man is charming.
Yeah, Fiva Schfinkel joins us from Picket Fences. We're so excited to have him
for
here.
the defense.
So that's all coming up, and of course our road warriors are all around the country, and we'll fill you in on that in just a moment. But since we saw you last time, there are 900 numbers for virtually everything, all kinds of ways to exhaust your money. And a new one is 1-900 How to Do Time.
How to what?
How to do time.
What?
It's for people going into prison. It's the 900 number that OJ's been really racking up some bills on. And apparently got about 25 calls yesterday on average since we saw you last. Now here are some of the things that they will tell you on that 900 number. That you should arrange your own transportation to prison because it could be a long trip. You should secure an upper bunk by getting a note from your doctor. Now, these are former prisoners.
What kind of note would you need to get an upper bunk?
Oh, that'll work.
Yeah.
Bubba, get down. I got a note from my doctor.
Bubba?
Yeah. And we won't tell you what his specialty area of medicine is either. And also, the 900 number tells you to respect everyone else's space. So that's an action. Thank you.
Yeah,
Mr.
that explains
Baker.
the upper bunk, doesn't it?
Isn't that something? Our road warriors all around the country. JD all this week has been in Kentucky, in Louisville today at Wagner's Pharmacy, where actually, now this is not too far from the site of the running of the Kentucky Derby, right, John?
That's right, Tom. Churchill Downs is right up the street here. And since the Roaring 20s, Wagner's Pharmacy has been a staple here with the horse people and the Kentucky Derby. But, Tom, I need to let you know, it's not just a pharmacy. No.
It's a breath mint.
It's a restaurant. It's upstairs, they have silk making. They also have a saddle making shop upstairs. And, of course, hey, a liquor store. But what we're going to do is, this is a place where not only do the horse people come and the jockeys hang out, but upstairs they make the silks, the colors that the jockeys and the horses wear in the races, in the Kentucky Derby. And we're going to find out about Wagner's, about its historical significance, and find out how they make the colors. And, you know, it's Derby fever here, so we're getting all caught up in it.
And they discovered Man of War sitting right there drinking a soda. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, looking forward to that. Jillian is in Rock Island, Illinois, and we're going to meet the Backwater Gamblers. And this is going to be an action-packed Road Warrior segment. Jill, good morning.
Good morning, Tom. Action-packed, it certainly will be, because later on, we're going to be getting out onto the water. We're here with the Backwater Gamblers, which are a volunteer water ski team.
Oh, there they are.
With kids aging from age 5 to adults aging to age 55. When we come back, we're going to meet these volunteer national award-winning competition team, We're going to meet them, and we're going to meet Dennis, their president, all that on the water when we come back in Rock Island, Illinois.
My understanding is, as a volunteer ski team, they are called upon for any emergency pyramids that need to be constructed on the water. Is that right?
Exactly. They can do a pyramid probably faster than anybody you've ever met.
All right. Well, you know, not counting the Egyptians. Spencer Garbett is right here in New York. He's at Pier 88, and he is on the Crystal Symphony, which is about to go on a 96-day inaugural cruise around the world. Spencer?
That's correct. It just got here actually a couple days ago. It's a $250 million cruise line, part of Crystal Cruises. And as you can see, it's absolutely gorgeous. They're at the Lido deck here. I'm Julie McCoy. I'll be your cruise director. We'll have shuffleboard, all kinds of things. But we're going to take you on a little tour and show you some of the glamorous rooms, because it holds about 960 people. There's about 530 in staff. So for every 2 people, there's 1 person to take care of you. So it's really a first-class operation. We'll look at some of the rooms, and they also have shops and restaurants, so we'll give you a little tour of the place.
Ask Isaac to send a few drinks over, would you?
Yeah, where's Gopher, too? Yeah,
this is like the Love Boat and Fantasy Island smashed together.
It really is.
It really is, Jim.
It's like an Aaron Spelling retirement home.
We're actually going to take a look at the penthouse, and that's the one place you can rent
Whoa.
for the 96-day cruise. I won't even tell you how much it costs. So right now, let's take a look at some of today's top stories.
Good morning, everyone. Here's some of the stories we've been following for you while you're sleeping this Thursday, May 4th. In Oklahoma City, officials say the search for more victims will probably continue one more day before the bomb-stricken site is cleared away by heavy equipment. The death toll crept up to 146 people yesterday, with about 25 others still listed as missing. Meanwhile, the 2 men arrested Tuesday in connection with the bombing and then released early yesterday reportedly have to appear before a federal grand jury investigating the case. In the O.J. Simpson murder trial, cross-examination of chemist Gregory Matheson continues for a 3rd day. Defense attorneys are suggesting that blood evidence stored in an unlocked cabinet at the police crime lab was tampered with. In New York, the Broadway show On the Waterfront is closing Sunday after losing over $2 million in just 1 week. And finally, 20 new stamps commemorating American comic strips are being unveiled today. Popeye and Dick Tracy are among the characters who will make their letter debut in October. Well, that's a quick look at what's making news across the country. Now, here's Jim with a look at the weather.
That's right. And Spring Creek, Nevada's getting wet, whence the name. And also, we got a big blob of rain in the central part of the country here. And look at this. The Celtics lost, the Red Sox lost, and there's still a spiky yellow ball in Boston. How can that be? Let's look at those high temperatures. Oh, and look at this. We got, by the way, that thing in Oregon there, that is not dust. That's actually a little bit of that purple stuff, and that's the weather.
like an overhead Barney shot. We have with us a family from White Plains, New York, a notable family in this respect, and your letter actually outlines why. Attention, Tom, met you on the street in front of Burke & Burke, East 23rd Street and Broadway on St. Patrick's Day, 2:30 p.m. What was the temperature that day? Do you know? We spoke for 5 minutes about your program, how much we enjoy the show. My kids, Karen and David, are daily watchers on Channel 31 in White Plains, New York. You asked if we would like to be a family to appear on a future show. I mentioned it to the family, and we are most interested. So, right, Marty Lager. Marty, you were the first person, because we're not on yet in Manhattan, though we are clearly in White Plains and all around here. You were the first person to recognize me here in Manhattan.
Yeah, the first person to send us a contract about it, too.
That's right. That's right. Marty's lawyers went over this letter.
Wow, please sign an initial at the bottom and send me 2 copies.
Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Now, you work at MetLife, right?
No, I do not. I'm a tenant of MetLife.
Right again.
The MetLife
You're
building.
a tenant at MetLife?
Yeah, we rent 2 floors, a CPA firm.
See, this was, I should have known. This has the sort of the writing style of the CPA.
Of a CPA.
Wait a minute, tenant is a job?
Right.
No, they rent space in the MetLife building.
That's 2 down and 1 to go.
I'm a partner in a firm named Kaufman, Greenhunt, and Foreman.
Well, good. Well, it's great to have you here.
Yeah.
Now you're next to Pat.
Pat, who is a merchandising executive in a bra factory.
Right, I work for one of the major manufacturers of brassieres, and
Go
right
ahead.
now it's a very
Who are they?
hot
Who are they?
Best Form Foundation.
There you go.
And they're a
Business
wonderful
looking
company. Oh, I've heard them all before. We need some new bra jokes, really. But no, it's a lot of fun, and we're getting lots of publicity right now.
The market's rough, but they're holding their own. Yeah.
Sure, I'd love to.
And we've got Karen and David here.
Okay.
8-year-old David and 12-year-old Karen, both adorned in fine vests.
Yeah.
Would you like to take the mic?
Go ahead,
There you go, David.
What's up?
What would you like to say?
This is David on the show on FX the first time.
All right.
Very good.
Watch out, Kogan.
David, I think then, you've clearly shown an aptitude for this.
Yeah.
We should have him ask Jim how other families can join us. Will you
Jim, how can other
throw to
families
Jim and...
They can send a fax to us.
Oh, no, you don't do You don't do Jim's job.
No.
You just ask Jim to do his job.
Yeah.
Jim, how do you get on the show?
Besides confronting Tom on the street.
I'll do your taxes and I'll sell you bras. Write to us at Breakfast Time, P.O. Box 825, Madison Square Station, New York, New York, 10159-0825. Or you can call us at 1-800-FXFXFX1. Fax us at 212-802-4208 or email us at fxbreakfast@delphi.com.
Oh.
And who knows, you might get breakfast and an audition tape.
We may have to send David down to the booth.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, wait a minute, not alone.
Jim, what's coming up on the show?
The dark side of fun in the sun. Melanoma and what you can do about it. Coming up on Breakfast Time.
Hurry, FX TV viewers. Dynasty's 2-for-1 fire sale is on. Just look at these values. 2 murders by favorite characters, 2 major memory losses, 2 Stevens, 2 Bellins, 2 surprise extra... Weekdays at 11:10 Central on FX.
It's 13 minutes to the top of the hour. Welcome back to Breakfast Time with Lori, Tom, Bob the Puppet, and me, Jim. I'm the announcer, and here's Lori.
Thank you very much. The American Academy of Skin Cancer is predicting 34,000 cases of melanoma this year alone. But the way to detect it and to protect yourself from it is something that Dr. Ron is here to talk about with us today. First of all, thanks for coming this morning.
Sure.
How is that? What is melanoma exactly?
Melanoma is a type of skin cancer which is the most dangerous form of skin cancer. Many skin cancers, well, they can go for a long time undetected, and they can still be treated very easily by taking the cancer off. Melanoma, unfortunately, is a type of skin cancer where if it penetrates the skin layer by just a little bit, it becomes metastatic. It spreads through the body, and it can be fatal.
But can it be avoided?
Well, the good news is that it can be avoided very easily by early detection, and that's what this is about. And in fact, the motto for this whole exercise is, let's get naked, because that's what we got to do here.
Okay.
Not you. That's why we've got...
Stop teasing me.
That's why we've got Safety Man here. Safety Man, it's permissible for Safety Man to be naked. Actually, he's got to wear some safe shorts here. But Safety Man is usually, he's usually used to get cars on these high-density traffic lanes. You usually put this guy onto next to you so you can get on one of these highways. But Safety Man is here to illustrate that what we want to do is we want to inspect ourselves very carefully, especially this week. This is the time of year when we want to be aware about melanoma. We're getting out into the sun.
Sure.
And so what really dermatologists are urging people to do is take a look at themselves very carefully in the mirror. Use a mirror to kind of look at yourself in places you ordinarily wouldn't look and see if there are any moles that are developing a funny appearance. Many melanomas arise from pre-existing moles, those little spots you have on your body.
Sure.
So we really want to be on the mole patrol, and we want to look for these types of things. We want to look for, these are moles that are enlarged. They're large in diameter. And what this means is we're talking about the size of a pencil eraser, okay? This is a little pencil eraser to give you an idea of size. 6 millimeters, anything larger than that is of concern. We're also concerned about things that have what's called asymmetry, which is a fancy word for something that has an uneven border. In other words, it's larger on one side than the other. We're concerned about things that have border irregularities or scalloped edges. And we're concerned about things that have funny colors. And these are some real funny colors, but often melanomas tend to be red, white, and blue.
So how often should you, that's a good question, so how often should you check yourself?
You should check yourself very frequently. What you can do is check your kids too.
Right.
Go to a dermatologist if there's anything that's of concern that you can't really tell what it is.
Are there any more parts of the body that are more susceptible than others that you should concentrate on?
Yes, backs in both sexes and legs in women. These are of concern.
Now, you're saying back in both sexes and legs in women, are women more susceptible to melanoma?
Well, the people who are most susceptible to melanoma are folks who have light skin. Red-haired folks, blondes. People with darker skin are not exempt, however, and shouldn't totally forget about this issue. It's important to get checked.
All right, so get naked, get a buddy, and check your skin.
Yeah.
Very important. Dr. Ron Hoffman, thank you very much for coming in today. Tom?
Yes, here on Get Naked Day, on breakfast time, what's the weather looking like for those who might have to suffer through a wind chill factor, Jim?
Asymmetrical, Tom. We have sunny skies, actually little mixed clouds in Slidell, Louisiana. Not so in the northwest where we've got a big area of rain, and in the central part of the country, the Midwest. Okay, and look at that. It's almost like, look at it. It's like one of the aliens is smiling. Look at those high temperatures. And look, that 70s thing is like good. It's like one of those socket wrenches. You know what I mean? And it's plugged into Arizona and Nevada, and that's the weather.
I like that little effect that you did. That was great. By the way, on Get Naked Day and Get Fit Day, because Richard Simmons is here.
Don't tell Richard Simmons it's Get Naked.
Oh, yeah, no kidding. No
That'll be our secret.
Look, I've seen Anthony Quinn in a Speedo. I can't stand 2 shots in a week. Let's hear the new theme for today's show from Richard's own latest video. Can we hear that, Rob?
Get on down, get on down. Disco sweat. Get on down, get on down.
Now you hear that lyric? Get on down, disco sweat.
Yeah. You get that from wearing the polyester suit at the disco.
You certainly do. John Davis is in Louisville, Kentucky, not far from Churchill Downs, and he's at Wagner's Pharmacy checking out the menu and checking out what's making news there
No,
today.
he's checking out the scratch sheet for the
Oh, is that what that is? Oh, okay.
Yes, look, we caught him reading it.
The scratch sheet. Hey, listen, Louisville is a proud, proud community. Why? Because it's Get Naked Day here at Wagner's. No, I'm joking. In the Courier-Journal, Tom, last night, the Belle of the Belle of Louisville beat out the Delta Queen in the Great Steamboat.
Congratulations, Louisville.
Oh, they must be so happy.
How much did we win, Jim?
The thing is, it's quite controversial because the Delta Queen, you have to go under a bridge to win, and the Delta Queen went under the bridge first, but the rule says you have to clear, the back of your boat has to clear the bridge, and the Belle of Louisville is much smaller, so it cleared the bridge first. So the Belle of Louisville is the big winner in the Great Steamboat
And they get
Race.
the golden antlers, right?
Right.
That's right. And they also say that the Great Steamboat Race is pro wrestling on the river, pure hokum.
There you go.
So,
And size isn't
that's what's
important.
going on. And, of course, Derby fever.
Yeah.
Thanks, JD.
Thank you
Get
very
naked day.
Now we go to Jillian Hamilton, who's spending her week in Rock Island, Illinois. What's happening this morning, Jill?
Hey, Lori, we're reading the newspaper with some of the backwater gamblers. We have Tyler and Adam and Taryn and Trista and
my.
Kagan and John. And we're learning
Tubby.
about the water taxi. The water taxi it's actually a recreational little boat that will take people across the Mississippi River to the Quad Cities. There's some gambling and other activities that happen just along the riverfront, and so the water taxi would enable people to get there without having to go over the bridge. That's the news from Rock Island, Illinois.
Thanks,
See you
Jill. Sort of
later.
like in New York, every time you get into a cab here, you're gambling.
Yeah.
As we go to break, don't you think we should go to break with the theme of the day, Rob?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Get on down, get on down.
What's coming up, Jim?
Talking to teens, like, I hope this isn't going to be real boring, man, because I'm not going to do it if it is. No matter what you say, man, I mean it. I'm not going to do it. I mean it. Coming up on Breakfast Time.
Get on down, get on down.
This portion of FX is brought to you by French Kiss, the new romantic comedy from 20th Century Fox, starring Meg Ryan and Kevin Kline. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Critics are calling French Kiss sexy, savvy.